Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabor.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Let's bring you the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Coming up tonight, more than 150 shops belonging to foreign nationals engaged in retail trading at Bogoso-Prestea closed.
Also tonight, diplomatic efforts intensify over DSTV pricing debates as South Africa's foreign minister is expected in Ghana to mediate with authorities.
And later in the world, as we speak, the Black Stars of Ghana are expected to beat their Malian counterparts in a crucial World Cup qualifier to revive hopes of qualifications.
Coming up in business news, Guta threatens Destiny Day demonstration over foreign retail trade if government fails to intervene in enforcing trade law.
And on the international front, France plunges into a fresh political crisis as MPs vote out the Prime Minister of the country.
We have details of all these stories and many more coming up shortly in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
And we are delving straight into it. And, well, before that, let's wish the Black Stars all the best as they kick off against their Malian counterparts in Accra. Well, so the specifics of the stories we have for you this evening have to do with the fact that more than 150 shops belonging to foreign nationals engaged in retail trading at Bogoso-Prestea have been closed by leadership of the Bogoso-Prestea Spare Parts Dealers Association. The closures are in a bid to enforce the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act 2013, Act 865, specifically Section 27(1). Although majority complied, it was a clear case of altercations from one shop to the other when shops of the others were being closed. George Queening was in and around the market area and reports.
This shop belongs to my wife. You can go and check. You go. Come on. You can go and check. You don't have to post. I will not be post. Don't worry, I will show you now.
Chinedu Victor, a Nigerian, would not budge. He claims the shop belongs to his wife, who is a Ghanaian. This exercise is purely a form of intimidation, he emphasized.
According to leadership of the association, 90% of the foreigners are complying, but there have been some few altercations like this one, but they were able to, surmount it.
Everybody is complying. We've had about 2 or 3 issues, difficulties for them to close our shops, but now they've closed the shop, so we are not having any problems now. We've asked them to bring their documents to our executive office so we can do our checks with the registrar's office and the internal revenues to make sure the Ghanaians are not fronting for them.
It's nothing like stubborn. This is what they call intimidation. And I will never accept intimidation in this country. There is nothing like stubborn. The shop belongs to my wife. What they are doing is illegal work. Because if you want to do legal work, you go to Register General, check all the shop, and you know who owns the shop. Even before you intervene, you know who owns the shop. You don't barge into people's privacy and start to...
But I'm aware that you are giving notice to close your shop.
Notice of what? To close the Nigerian shop. But this is Nigeria. No, this is not Nigerian shop. Do you expect me to close Ghanaian shop because they say Nigerians should close their shop?
Why are you trying to be stubborn?
I'm not stubborn.
Yeah, listen to me. I said close it.
It was a heated exchange of words from one shop to the other in the association's bid to enforce GIPC Act 865, specifically Section 27 Clause 1, which limits petty trading to citizens. In the case of foreigners, they are allowed to engage in wholesale. Leadership of the association was supported by some personnel from the national security. Key points of contention include unfair competition, lack of enforcement, and protection of local enterprises.
There's actually this debate that the Nigerian retailers do better in the retail space than their Ghanaian counterparts. And Ghanaian can be selling this for 100 cedis, and the Nigerian will actually sell this same thing for 20 Ghana cedis. And the Director of Communications, Techi Ado, breaks this down and explains why things are like this.
Nigerians and Ghanaians will go to the same market, will buy the same thing. But mind you, from Nigeria, from overseas to Nigeria at the port, the percentage is 15%. Then they will use cargo through Togo, through Benin to Togo to Ghana. They spend 3%. It makes 18%. But when you go to the port, our port, the percentage is 55%. Interest rate in Nigeria, less than 20%. Ghana is 30 to 40%. Cote d'Ivoire is 7.5%. So clearly, these people, we cannot compete with them.
These Nigerians, they make market are very simple for us. Ghanaians, they bought it, they put a higher price. So what's the issue now they are doing? It's not a bad. We need to see them, to talk to them. What the Nigerians, they are not doing bad thing. You Ghana man, you buy 10 cedi, you put 10 cedi top. Nigerian man, you get 1 cedi, you have shares forward.
This exercise, the association emphasizes, is not against foreign investment, but rather to ensure compliance with Ghana's laws regulating trade and commerce. George Queening, TV3 News, Bogoso-Prestea, Accra.
Well, so let's go to Zoom now and engage the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana International Promotion Center, GIPC, Mr. Simon Maggi. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us on TV3.
Good evening to you and to our viewers, and thanks for having me.
This seems to have become an annual challenge, and many will lay the blame at the doorstep of the GIPC, where they say that enforcement of the law is your responsibility, and so they believe that you could be doing much better. What exactly is the challenge GIPC is facing, for which reason we seem to be having this annual ritual?
Thank you. I think that first and foremost, I would like to appeal to our brothers and sisters in Ghouta that we have to be mindful of taking the law into our own hands, and that government is really committed to resolving this issue. The focus of His Excellency the President is to build a commercial society in which those who work in various sectors and aspects of our community really benefit from their work, and to protect their interests as well. But we are just urging calm, and that government is really on top of this issue and working with everyone. There's the retail committee, which has been enforced. The Minister of Trade, working in conjunction with others, is really preparing to kickstart some of the processes made in order for us to bring some peace and calm to the markets, and to ensure that areas reserved for Ghanaians are indeed reserved for Ghanaians. So that's what I can say for now.
Right, but you seem to have sidestepped the question of whether or not the law is actually supposed to be enforced by your outfit. That actually is supposed to be done by GIPC, no? Because seeing the Spare Parts Association dealers' leadership and the manner in which they are enforcing this law raises concerns and questions, doesn't it?
Well, the manner in which the law is being enforced by citizens raises questions, because the enforcement of the law is not entirely in the hands of citizens. I think that's what I'm trying to draw all of us attention to, because there are processes and procedures involved in enforcement of this session. And enforcement is also not entirely that of GIPC. There are several agencies that are involved. There's immigration involved, there's the Office of Register of Companies involved. And so that's how come there's a task force at the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry to deal with this matter. I had the opportunity of meeting with the executives of Ghouta on Friday, and I even went into the market to verify some of the things that they have said. What I can say is that we need to find a common ground. People are trading, and the law says that these are some of the areas reserved for citizens of Ghana. Determination of who is a citizen or not is entirely that by Ghana Immigration Service and the laws of this country. And so we must all tread cautiously, right, so as not to create fear and panic and on issues like this, issues that we can easily jaw and find a common solution to. And so I would rather urge calm at this time. We've been to the market. We want to understand what's happening so that we can take the right actions to protect the interests of everybody across and everybody working in this country.
Right, Mr. Maji, are you concerned about the kind of international image this may be creating? I have seen you campaign and make presentations vigorously as recently as the trip to Japan, where you and the president sold Ghana, asking people to come in. With these kinds of issues happening domestically, are you concerned about the kind of image it is creating for the country?
Well, in my meeting with Guta, I did raise with them that we've conducted this exercise the same way over a very long period of time, and we seem not to be getting the right results. The Honorable Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry is indeed very committed to finding solutions to this. And she's been working day and night for us to look for new and creative ways to solve this problem without always emerging on this confrontational plate where it appears that we are at loggerheads with others that are trading in our market spaces. But I think that fundamentally and globally, everybody accepts that there are certain areas or businesses or sectors that are reserved for citizens of every country. Ours include, selling in the marketplaces, whether it's a service in the marketplace or selling in stores or hawking, or any of those ones are exclusively reserved for Ghanaians. So it's just a position of the law.
Right.
The point now is how do we enforce this without creating the kind of tensions that we are witnessing lately, and how do we engage with all of the players, including Guta, stakeholders, the district assemblies especially, because they manage these marketplaces,
right,
so that we are able to really lay bare what ought to be and what not ought to be for us to move forward as a country. So this is where we are.
Mr. Simon Maji, pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time this evening. He is the CEO of the GIPC.
In more news tonight, diplomatic efforts have intensified over the DSTV pricing debate as South Africa's foreign minister is expected in Ghana to mediate with authorities. A stakeholder committee chaired by the communications minister has started its work to evaluate and agree to fair pricing for consumers in some 14 days. Christian Yale reports.
Back and forth between government and MultiChoice Ghana concerning the proposal for reduction in DSTV subscription rates in the country. The company over the period has maintained that it is not feasible for it to reduce pricing in Ghana, citing operational challenges and external costs and even the prevailing economic conditions in the country. For its failure to submit critical pricing data to government, MultiChoice Ghana was slapped with a 10,000 cedis daily fine, which started from August 15, an amount which has accumulated to some 250,000 cedis as of Monday, 8 September 2025. The stakeholder committee meeting chaired by the communications minister, Sam George, is expected to do an evaluation and consider the argument for a possible reduction in DSTV pricing in the country.
The committee has a strict 14-day mandate, inclusive of weekends, to conclude its work and present a suitable price reduction structure for the people of Ghana by the 21st of September 2025.
But there are some who have raised concerns over the absence of consumers on this stakeholder committee, making a claim that at least those who use DSTV should have also been represented in this committee to also air their views concerning the matter.
The NCA still has the mandate to ensure that they collect what is due from the fines that we imposed on MultiChoice for the almost 24 days before they provided the information that they did not provide the information.
Diplomatic efforts have intensified over this matter. South Africa has waded into the conversation with its foreign affairs minister expected in Ghana this week to mediate with authorities over the issue. But in all of this back and forth and dynamics, consumers just expect a fair pricing model that meets their realities. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, concerns are rife over Parliament's inability to adopt the Committee of Inquiry's report on the vetting chaos, despite being advertised repeatedly in the order paper in the last sitting. The repeated instances of unsavory language and near brawls have left many wondering if Speaker is not cracking the whip enough to ensure discipline among lawmakers. Christian Yali reports.
This will remain as one of the ugliest scenes in modern history of Ghana's parliament, when some MPs ignored their status and chose to vandalize public property, marring the vetting of ministers in January 2025. The Speaker suspended 4 MPs but later reinstated them, after which a committee started probing the matter. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, in reading his statement on the floor, noted with grave concern the manner in which the reputation of Parliament is rapidly being tarnished by the actions of some members of Parliament. But the report is yet to see the light of day. Despite featuring multiple times on the order paper in the last sitting of Parliament, it was not adopted.
Any member found culpable shall face the appropriate disciplinary actions as prescribed by the Constitution 1992, the Parliament Act of 1965, and the Standing Orders of Parliament.
In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, an adoption of a report of the Special Committee on the full-scale investigation into the event which occurred at the public hearing and appointment committee has also been lying on the order paper for far too long.
One would have expected the findings from that inquiry would be known nearly 9 months after the incident. But that's not the only incident. MPs on different occasions used their microphone without catching the Speaker's attention.
Honorable Nitiwul, you don't have the floor. Resume your seat. Please resume your seat.
Protests were made and some petitions submitted to demand the identity of this MP, but no update yet on that. Some believe that the indiscipline is getting out of hand, also because no member has suffered punishment.
It has to do with the attitude. So that is what they have transported into Parliament. A lawmaker, instead of making laws and you are breaking laws, and if you are severely punished, I don't think it will continue. I think it's a disgrace and it shouldn't happen in our young democracy.
Collins Dowda says there should be more engagement and compromise.
To have the caucuses respect one another and for the caucuses to engage before any decision is taken.
Confidently, I'm telling you, mark my words. I can even tell you that if we lose this election, I'll resign as a member of Parliament. I'm telling you, we'll win this election.
This recent comment by the New Job in South MP is another that raises a question about the conduct of legislators. A former MP for Subin Isaac Osei blames the loud silence by law enforcement agencies.
The first time that happened, nothing really happened. And so it gave people the impression that they can do what they want.
In the last sitting, a number of walkouts were staged, some at the slightest provocation, and instances of heated exchanges across the divide were dominant. In all this, some have questioned the Speaker's seeming inability to enforce discipline. But with the establishment of the National Integrity Awards by the Speaker, it is expected that there would be some sanity among the lawmakers who would also be rated based on their conduct and utterances. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
And away from Parliament, a former Supreme Court judge, Justice Atuguba, has been speaking about the recent removal of Gertrude Tokonu as Chief Justice. Here are excerpts of the interview with Beatrice Edu.
Throughout, it's not surprising because you see, Ghanaians have become more conscious of their legal rights and access to the courts and so forth. The population are speaking severally, and you can't prevent people from going to court. So the workload will increase, and that throws into focus, which we number of judges or magistrates that are available with this sex.
The Chief Justice lawyers tell us that they are going to challenge her mercy as being available to help.
Oh, I mean, I don't know the grounds she's presenting. There needs to be based on her grounds. But of course, if she's agreed about the dismissal of the mobile entities, of course, one of the lists have support is allowed to attend. And if
Do watch Ghana Tonight at 10 p.m. and New Day for the full interview.
The Acting Director General of the National Service Authority, Felix Gyamfi, has been reassigned to the Ministry of Finance with immediate effect. The move takes place less than 7 months after his appointment in January 2025, raising questions within public sector circles about the sudden change. While no official explanation has been issued, sources at the Jubilee House suggest that the reassignment forms part of a wider government reshuffle aimed at aligning key personnel with its economic management priorities. TV3 sources have also gathered that the decision was partly influenced by delays in the posting of new national service personnel following an audit of the service's online portal. According to reports, a disagreement emerged between Mr. Gyamfi and the supervising minister, George Opare-Addo. The Minister of Youth Development is said to be pushing for the development of an entirely new deployment portal to address loopholes, while Mr. Gyamfi maintains that the existing platform could be refined and improved rather than replaced. Following the reassignment of Mr. Gyamfi to the Finance Ministry, the Deputy Youth Organizer of the governing National Democratic Congress, Ruth Delacedo, has been appointed as the Director General of the National Service Authority in acting capacity.
Meanwhile, uncertainty is hanging over this year's National Service registration as thousands of graduates, including foreign-trained students, remain stranded following a suspended portal and lack of clear communication from authorities. For many, what should have been a routine transition into national service has instead become weeks of anxiety and confusion, with no clear answers on when the process will resume. There's more in this report.
For thousands of graduates preparing to serve their nation, what should have been a straightforward national service registration process has instead turned into weeks and months of confusion, anxiety, and unanswered questions.
About the NSS, for those of you who have been able to register, for the rest of us, I don't know how to sugarcoat it. Yeah, we are bleeding. We are the go through. See, some of you, they also know they want a fever. You try to do Takashi, enter the system. You apply, they will tell you say who. They will ask you say who. You register the NSS. They will tell you say no.
This was after the suspension of the central management system used by the National Service Authority to manage postings at the directive of the President for technical and forensic audit on the platform.
Registration and deployment processes are currently paused due to the system shutdown of the centralized service management platform ordered for audit purposes. This action followed a directive from the presidency ordering the suspension of the system for a comprehensive and forensic audit that the system has been used to perpetuate serious financial fraud.
The registration, originally set to close on 1st July 2025, has been marred by delays. And while the first batch of PIN codes was released on the 18th of June, many students never received theirs and have no idea what is going on.
It looks normal until you try to check your PIN code. You will see that when you click on check PIN codes, it's load and then bring you back to the same place. The same applies to the registration online and then checking posting. Okay, so this is what's happening to the website, and I don't know why.
Trying to log in into the NSS portal to check the PIN codes. This is the homepage of the NSS authority, and this is what is happening currently. While you try to log in into the portal, it just redirects you back to the homepage Nothing is working on the portal and we don't know what is happening.
For this group, the dream of joining their colleagues in national service remains uncertain, leaving them stranded in a process that should have been seamless. Graduates have been left in limbo, refreshing their browsers, calling friends for updates, and anxiously waiting for a word from the Secretariat or the Ministry. None has come. For young people who see national service as a crucial bridge between school and the world of work, the silence has been deafening.
We don't know what to do anymore. Every day feels like we are being pushed aside. Our future doesn't matter. We need the experience to work. We don't know what to do anymore. We have no idea what is going on.
The uncertainty has cast a shadow over what is usually a proud moment of transitioning, the chance to give back to Ghana while preparing for life after school. Instead, it has become a source of stress. As the days pass without clarity, many are asking questions, and all they need now are answers.
Let's go to the Western region now, where there is cautious optimism in the Prestea township following the commencement of operations at the near-collapsed Bogoso-Prestea mine of the Future Global Resources. This follows the company's payment of inherited debts to workers and local contractors. The community is, however, calling for employment guarantees for the existing local workforce who have endured the company's most challenging periods. Irama Smith has more.
Protests defined Future Global Resources' troubled ownership of the Prestea Bogoso mine, with the company accused of neglect, failure to pay workers and contractors, and also allow infrastructure to decay. This led to government intervention and eventual takeover by Ghanaian-owned Heath Goldfields in October 2024. 10 months on, during a visit by officials, Managing Director Patrick Appiah-Mensah outlined the new ownership's progress. He said they have taken bold steps to lay the foundation for a safe and sustainable restart, with over 100 million cedis paid to settle inherited salary and Providence Fund debts, and an additional 34 million cedis invested in critical safety and infrastructure upgrades.
We committed ourselves to restoring confidence, creating value, and bringing life back to the mine and its host communities. Since assuming operations, we have taken bold steps to lay the foundation for a safe and sustainable restart. Our key achievements include payment of over 100 million Ghana cedis in outstanding employee salaries and provident funds inherited from the previous leaseholder, alongside engagement with the Ghana Mine Workers Union on additional benefits. Settlement of 16.8 million Ghana cedis owed to local contractors, restoring trust and enabling local businesses to get back on their feet.
We engaged with Prestea residents to independently verify the claims made by Heath Goldfields.
I think the coming of Heath Gold to Prestea is a blessing to the town. Upon meeting with the company, they've also assured us that when they are given the mandate to work, we the indigents are going to benefit. Meaning that they are going to consider those living in Prestea and its environs before going out, unless a special position that requires a special skill.
Despite giving assurances of job security, Heath Goldfields has heightened concerns about its ongoing revival efforts, which include major work on its underground mines and repairs to the processing plants.
We're planning to commence testing of the process plant equipment within this third week of September, and then by first week of October, start production from this process plant with the open pits. And then at the same time, we continue to upgrade the pumping installations underground and then dewater the underground facility.
That's the watching News360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have business, sports, and entertainment all coming up. We'll be back shortly.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here. Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally. Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just one coat.
Impressive. For me, as a professional painter, I love Flamingo paints because they're just small paints that paint huge area, meaning more profit for me. Great value for money.
As an architect, Flamingo paint, with its well-researched and solid composition, guarantees durability for all my buildings.
Flamingo paint, superior hiding, superior coverage, superior durability. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum. Mr. Freddy Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Freddy once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did Sasso spray. Mr. Freddy Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso.
Tum preko.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our...
Speaking earlier of business focus, he insisted that planned action will be more intense than the recent industrial protests by the association if government fails to strictly enforce the existing trade laws.
China malls, the China towns, and what have you. While they are expanding left, right, center, we are shrinking. And it doesn't cause any alarm for the authorities. We have the law, we have to enforce it. It's very unfortunate that we have to look on for the citizens to take actions. And people, we are going to declare the Destiny Day demonstration very soon. When that happens, nobody can control us because we are the governed, but it doesn't mean that we don't have a stake in governance. So whatever is there in the law, let's act upon it. Why are we shying away from enforcing the laws that have clearly been enacted in our laws? Why? Why are we shy of enforcing the laws? So I support any of our sectors. In fact, I've given the green light for them to embark on this journey, and we are going to make sure that we will close all the shops, not only the Nigerians and all that.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, Simon Maggi, has urged for calm as government works to address the situation.
We came to some conclusions. I am here to brief the Honorable Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry on the way forward. But what I would say is that from what I've seen or heard, I would urge calm. I think that we are all neighbors. We've been in this business for a long time. This is not a time for us to really lose control of ourselves and attack people in their markets, because that is not what Ghana stands for. We know that there are some pain points, but rest assured, His Excellency the President and the Minister of Trade and Government are working hard around the clock to resolve some of these issues and to make sure that Ghana benefits as well as our neighbors also benefit. So that's what I would say for.
The cedi has depreciated by 14.31% in the last 4 weeks, now selling at 11 cedis 97 pesos on the interbank foreign exchange market after some relative stability. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, says the slide is a reminder of the need to support local production and reduce dependence on imports.
The currency has been one of the best performers earlier this year, but a surging demand for dollars and limited inflows have pushed it down again. Businesses warn that the trend is raising the cost of production and threatening competitiveness. The Greater Accra chairman of AGI, Chona Makpelu, says the solution lies in boosting exports and cutting back on imports.
Most of the products we use in Ghana, about 70% of them are imported. So naturally, the cedi will continue to be affected. What we need to do and what government needs to prioritize is local production, ensure that local industries are given the needed environment and the support to be able to produce. We have to significantly reduce importation, especially of products that we can manufacture locally.
Akpelo further stressed that tackling smuggling of inferior goods must also be a priority. He says these products undermine Ghanaian industries and divert attention from quality local alternatives that deserve stronger patronage.
The challenge we're having is that there are a lot more of cheaper products that find their way into our market. Most of them are smuggled, most of them are of inferior quality, and as a result, they crowd out the genuine product being produced locally by industrialists. What we need now for government to do is to protect our borders, to minimize importation of some of these products. You know, if you take sanitary pads, for example, we have the capacity to produce for the entire West African market. Why are we importing inferior sanitary pads to the economy, smuggling them in?
MTN Ghana held a special edition of its Bright Conversation series featuring the group CEO. The event focused on exploring the future of digital experiences and what it means for its customers and form part of MTN's broader commitment to leading digital transformation across Africa.
Speaking at a special edition of MTN's Bright Conversations, Group CEO Ralph Mopita stressed the company's commitment to improving the lives of its customers.
We know that our work is a mission. It's an important mission, as I said, of giving people dignity, hope, and opportunity. There's 1.2 billion Africans, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, who have hopes and aspirations for a better life and a better future. We figured that we can play a part in enabling that by building the digital economy, the infrastructure of the digital economy, by building our sites and towers, putting radios on that allow people to have 3G, 4G connectivity, and then we put services on top. That gives us energy, and you get the energy from the impact that you're having. And we as the likes of MTN and others must do everything we can to ensure that every boy and girl in Kumasi, wherever in Ghana, in Accra, has access to the same capabilities as somebody living in New York.
Ralph Mupita also spoke about the possibility of introducing an MTN bank.
Let's not exclude that as a possibility in the future. If that happened, it was because there was a very good reason. Right now, there is no reason. But I wouldn't want to lead you to say we will be or we will not be. It's just simply a function of how best do we serve our customers. That is more useful is for us to think about the role that we have to play in driving financial inclusion. We're not even at 50%. So there's a lot more still to play. We're in the first half.
He further touched on the MTN 5G spectrum and the company's plans to introduce it to their Ghanaian subsidiary.
We've had very encouraging discussions with Minister George really around the ultimate availability of 5G spectrum. Across all our major markets in MTN, we now have 5G spectrum in the major markets. The only major market that we don't have it is in Ghana. And we've done a lot to improve on 3G, 4G, but ultimately we have to get to 5G.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
Still, Misaka, and Nemum was a summer brabo, and it can afford brabo.
Reporting from the Takrade Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. We head straight to the Accra Sports Stadium where the Black Stars of Ghana are currently playing a goalless draw against Mali at the Accra Sports Stadium in match day 8 fixture of the ongoing FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now, it's an interesting clash for the Black Stars, who came into this game at the back of a 1-1 disappointing draw against Chad in N'Djamena on Thursday. For Mali, they came into this match with much more confidence, picking up a crucial 3-1 victory against Comoros. And so there's a lot at stake for the Black Stars. This time round?
I think the word I could summarize it with is frustration. We've seen the Black Stars try to create, but have struggled to trouble the goalkeeper. And one big chance that we got this moment before the halftime whistle blew, South was and unfortunately he tried to go over the bar. And it's basically frustration in the eyes of the fans. The team must be resolute defensively, and the Black Stars fail to find a chink in their armor. And so it is a very concerning first half. We have to particularly see the players actually cover the goalkeeper. I haven't counted an actual shot on target for the Black Stars. And so they have a lot of work to do in the second half. Maybe Asiedu might have to play a passing person and switch from that back three, which of course in his mind would bring solidity, but it is stifling the team's opportunity to create chances.
Bill, still stay with us because before we let you go, based on what you've seen on the first half, what needs to change in that second half for Ghana? Or do you get the sense that Asiedu is trying to hold on for at least a draw here?
So it was in the first few minutes, first 15, 20 minutes, it sort of looked like the Black Stars were more focused on being defensively solid. But getting to the end of the first half, they tried creating some counter trying to link up with Mohamed Kudus to try and find an one Semenyo. And one of them actually worked, but unfortunately that ball went over the bar. But again, since it's that feedback system, it makes it a bit tricky because feedback brings that defensive solidity, but it's sort of limited players when it comes to the attacking sequences. And maybe also perhaps open up a more attacking player to try and help him create more chances and possibly score, because it's looking like Mali are being more resolute in defense. They haven't really troubled the Black Stars going forward. And so this will be the opportunity in the second half to try and go for the jugular and try and get the first goal.
Well, thank you very much, Belishan, for joining us live from the Accra Sports Stadium. It's currently halftime of the game between Ghana and Mali, and is 0-0 as things stand. However, let's take a look at Group I, which is shaping up to be very interesting and could potentially see us go to a photo finish there. It's currently a draw between Ghana and Mali, and so Ghana would move to 17 if things stay the way that it is in that group as well. And there's Madagascar, Mali, and Comoros, Central African Republic, all in there as well, with a chance of trying to get qualification to the World Cup. Well, so we'll be keeping you up to date with the game between Ghana and Mali on our social media handles at 3SportsGH, where you can get all the reactions and live text commentary, and also for audio commentary on 3FM 92.7. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and at 9 p.m. on Sports Station, we'll be bringing you the review of the match as well. And so do make sure to tune in.
is brought to you by GTP Lifestyled
and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil,
powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, 2 of Ghana's most beautiful contestants were evicted after Sunday night's show, leaving 11 ladies still in the race for the coveted crown. Now, the latest evictees are Owuba from the Western region and Nawere from the Upper West region.
It's been 6 consecutive weeks of intelligence, eloquence, poise, glitz and glam on Ghana's most beautiful. The ladies have elevated the competition proudly, showcasing the rich culture and heritage of their respective regions.
This is not just an ordinary cloth. This is called Che.
Week 6 of Ghana's most beautiful was a vibrant celebration of traditional clothes. Contestants educated viewers on the history, significance, and beauty of traditional textiles unique to their regions.
This regalia will help strengthen you for the journey ahead. You have nothing to fear. Pick it up. This smock, sacred, must never be washed, because he who wears it, his spirit lives in it. Hence, to wash is to wash their soul away.
At the end of the night, 2 contestants exited the competition, narrowing the race to 11 hopefuls vying for the crown. The evictees are Oba from the Western region and Nawere from the Upper West region.
I wish there was another word than thank you to use at this moment. When the eviction started, I see that all the sisters they evict, they cry. And I keep wondering what makes them cry. Do you get it? So I don't think there's anything to cry about, because I have learned so much and there's a lot of opportunities I know out there waiting for me. So to TV3 and GMB platform, I will forever root for you wherever I go.
Asekia was adjudged the best performer for week 6.
I personally feel my mindset plays a very key role, because all the time I keep telling myself, Asakia, this is not enough, you can do better. And once I set my mindset to that notion, it becomes very easy for me to put in a lot of effort, because I feel there's actually no room for resentment, yes. So yes, I am not at all relaxed in any sense. Each and every week, I look at my performance for the previous week and I feel, no, there's something I can actually do better. And inshallah, it has paid off, yes. And
Well, this is your cue to keep your favorite contestant in the competition by dialing *713 *13# and voting as many times as you can. Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Coming up, international news. And France into fresh political crisis as the MPs vote out the country's prime minister. François Bayrou called the surprise vote of confidence in himself after huge opposition to his budget plans. His defeat was inevitable, but France's enormous pile of debt remains. President Macron now faces a choice between calling a snap election or picking a 5th prime minister in less than 2 years.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Portia Gabor. Join Alfredo Kansi at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.